Oh my gosh, 2020 is here, and you know what stinks? I stayed up so late on New Year's Eve that I missed the Rose Parade, slept through the whole thing. Luckily, I can still start my New Year's off right, because it turns out for 2 days after the parade, they keep the best parts on display. Look at that! It's a Rose Parade float! We may have missed the marching bands and the horses and the celebrities riding around in cars, but the best part of the parade is still here. Let's face it, the floats all covered with flowers are always the best part. For more than 130 years now, the Rose Parade has been a New Year's Day tradition out here in Pasadena, California. It started way back in the 1890s, literally as a way for people who had moved to California from the East Coast to brag to their old neighbors that while they were growing icicles back home, out here we were still growing flowers. And I didn't know this until today, but apparently the Rose Bowl, the big foosball game out here, was started as a way to fundraise for the parade. I guess I always assumed it was the other way around, that they had the foosball game and then they had the parade to promote that. Wow, dude, look at these things. Look at the size of them. They're massive and covered with literally millions of flowers, flower petals, weird plant seeds. Ooh, and apparently bees. I like the Rose Parade. Dang, I mean, they're pretty big, but don't they look just a little bit smaller than they seem like they'd be when you see them on TV? Something about those crane shots, I guess.
I don't think I've ever seen any of them ever.
What? Well, that's because you're always sleeping. I used to stay up for midnight and then get up super early every year, or at least catch the second broadcast of it. When I was in marching band, I once got offered to march with a band that was in the Rose Parade, but I turned them down because I felt like sleeping that day. Wow, this is awesome. I remember years and years ago my parents trying to do this on New Year's Day. See the floats after they were done with the parade. And I can't remember why we didn't get in. Maybe it was closing or there was no parking. I don't really remember. But luckily after I missed the Rose Parade, that popped into my head. And so I brought the fam to come smell the roses. Look at this. You can see in the red letters all kinds of little berries, and then down in the purple letters, all these little tiny pieces of purple flower petals. Look at that. What's the white stuff? Like coconut or something? Oh wow, and then look at those little fruits. I didn't even notice that all those white parts are covered with billions of what looks like little tiny seeds. How are they keeping the birds away? It definitely does change things getting closer up to these guys. Because like I said, for one, they seem a bit smaller than you'd think they'd be from the TV appearance. But then at the same time, when you get right up close to them, you can really appreciate how many billions of little pieces it takes to make these floats. Look at this. It's mind-boggling. This is apparently the City of Torrance's float over here. A nice Japanese garden complete with a koi pond. That is awesome, and it smells fantastic. And all made out of plants. Look at those little sticks down there, and the leaves, and the roses. Even these giant bamboo poles here are covered with billions of little seeds. Wow, the only thing non-organic I can see is the tailpipe down there. Oh my gosh, look how many people are out here today. And this is the second day the floats have been on display. There's enough people out here getting stoked on these floats. They could probably keep selling tickets for $20, by the way, for weeks. So the whole time I was coming down here, I was thinking, why do they only do this for 2 days? Then of course, once I got up close, I realized, oh duh, they're made out of picked flowers, Justin. If they have these on display for a week, it'd be an awfully sad and wilted float. Dude, look at that. Even zoomed in, it's hard to appreciate how many little pieces are on each thing. I mean, I've been watching the Rose Parade my entire life, but this is astonishing. You know, on TV, it's just a bunch of numbers. Oh, 15,000 pounds of moss and 25 million roses. Doesn't really mean anything. But when they're actually holding still long enough for you to get a decent look, holy moly. Apparently this one we've been looking at was the Kaiser Permanente float. That's cool. So this is what they spend my money on, huh? And then right behind it, coming up in the rear, they've got a float for Troop Zero. I have no idea what that is, but apparently it's a show on Amazon Prime. Oh, look at that. That's a good idea. You can get all the flower close-ups with that selfie stick over there. Gotta be careful though, he's making the bees angry. Whoa! Oh, dude, weird. There's a live human up there. Oh, apparently this is actually a real bus. It's just covered with zillions of little plant particles. Hey, check this out. Look at the gravel road underneath the bus. The gravel is made out of potatoes. Dude, that is so freaking weird. Follow potato brick road. Follow potato brick road. Dude, holy moly. Look at this tree stump right here. There are little tiny pieces of bark glued all over that. And then these redwood trees, I have no idea what their trunks are made out of. Tiny little particles of stuff. Remember when we went camping in the redwoods? I don't remember there being this many flowers. Or bees. Oh my gosh, Allie, watch out behind you. Souvenirs. Whoa, this is weird. Check this one out. It's an almond milk float. Almond breeze, to be specific. Look at all the crazy detailed artwork on there, all made out of plants, just like the giant almond trees here and the giant almond bees. Dude, that is kind of weird looking. Look at that. When you spill almond milk, it turns into a bouquet. This helpful person right here just told me that this float has 19,000 flowers on it. And the white stuff on the cup is crushed rice and coconut. That is wild. Ooh, the sun is getting low. And because we did this completely on a whim in the middle of the afternoon, I didn't bring the right gear to film at night. So we've really got to pick up the pace here. Whoa, looks like they're getting bigger over here. Would you look at the size of that float? Wow. What have they been feeding those kids? They're gargantuan. Well, I guess they've been feeding them flowers because you are what you eat, buddy. I mean, look at this girl on the front of the float. She's at least 2, maybe 3 alleys tall from the looks of it. Wow, this is all nuts. Next year, I'm going to try to come a little bit earlier, though, when there's more light. I didn't realize how long each one of these floats was going to be. Or how spread out across town they'd be either. So we'll probably miss some of them today. But wow, for a last-minute activity, this is pretty awesome. Oh, check it out. There's something you don't often notice on the television. Look at that little peephole right there for the float driver. And how about this? Is that the hatch to get inside? It is so small. What do they have, children driving these things? That are alleys, little tiny alleys. Wow, look at all those bazillions of little seeds. And look at all these flower petals here. I wonder how they glue them on to all the different shapes. Probably wheat paste or something. Whoa, holy floral pickle barrel, Batman. Hello down there. I am Mr. Pickle. How about that? They're launching him into space. Well, at least he's going with the finest quality stuff. I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea what most of these floats are for. Oh, apparently this one is Trader Joe's. Thank you, helpful sign. I get gluten-free knockoff Oreo cookies from Trader Joe's. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty good float. But wait until you see this one. Look at it. It's Tiki. Look at this. The Tikis are animated. They've got a waterfall built into the float. The city of Sierra Madre has gone full Tiki. All right, that might be my favorite one so far. Although there's another pretty good one right next door. And this one's looking rather tropical and exotic as well. I'm not sure who the sponsor for this float is over here. Look at this. Looks like the pickle barrel's coming out of that bush. But this one's awesome. Look at that. You got colorful birds, little monkeys over there. Aw, London, it's like me and you. Just a couple of monkeys up to no good. Oh, I see. The UPS store. Hey, that's where I have my P.O. box. Again, so that's what they do with my money, huh? Wow, look at all the detail in every tiny little bit of this float, from the lizard up to the flowers and the toucan. Oh yeah, London just pointed out to me there's even a little pond inside of that thing. Holy cow. Hey, look at this. You can see some of them are already starting to look a little bit wilty. See, that's why we only have 2 days to come and see them.
I hate to see these things after a week.
Yeah, they'd look a little Miss Havisham, wouldn't they? Whoa, check this out. They've even got a little flower-covered stop sign. Except for some reason, these flowers are fake. Phony flowers, you're not worthy. Stop talking to me. Oh my gosh, a talking sign.
Hey, look at this. Talk about flower power.
Oh yeah, it's a flower-powered factory. I take it back what I said before about these things looking small. Look at the size of this thing. It's gargantuan. Look at that, the screen is off. Looks like the flower power has faded out. I guess it's easy for farmers to build a float. They're already farming half of the materials anyways, huh? Because they're farming. Get it?
Yeah.
It's farming over there. Okay. See, this makes me think that they're building RVs and houses and stuff like that, but I guess that you need a factory to insure them? I'm confused. Oh, watch out! More souvenirs! Ooh, apparently this Mrs. Myers float over here won the animation award. Sadly, it's not plugged in or doing anything at the moment. But at least it's smiling at me. Oh, look how happy. Okay, now there's only one more little side street to go with floats. We've skipped over a few of them, but we've actually managed to see most of the stuff out here. Although we are doing it kind of quickly. Ooh, check it out. They got a band rocking over there. Jam, Allie. Jam. Sing it. Sing it. Sing it. Oh, this is sick right here. Maybe it's just because I've watched my whole life as a native Californian here, but I'm always fascinated about what's underneath. Look at that engine down there. Engines and generators. Ah, you can actually see the wheel. There's just something about getting a little behind the scenes look. Ooh, and it looks like the sneak peeks continue. Look, you can actually see inside of the cab there. Check that out. You can see the steering wheel and the brakes and the gas. What is that, the clutch right there? Why is there another pedal? All kinds of gauges over there. The little bucket seats on the plywood floor. Imagine custom making a giant truck. Ooh, I was just told one guy drives and one guy does all the hydraulics. Apparently this one was animated as well. I'm glad all the floats aren't on though. They have the tiki one plugged into a generator and the fumes from the diesel were a little strong. I should mention, by the way, that they have all kinds of food and like a little carnival atmosphere going out here. Booths and funnel cakes and lemonade. Actually, I keep calling the floats booths, so if I did that, I'm sorry. It just keeps getting in my mouth. Whoa, I see a taco tent over there. Oh, I know where London's going. Can't keep the 13-year-old boys away from the tacos. Ooh, what is this? All I see on the sign is that it won the most outstanding design. Wow, there's all kinds of portraits on here. I don't know exactly what they're for, but is that iced tea? There must be some kind of story here. I hope it's not a sad story. Certainly pretty darn impressive looking, especially when you look closely and realize that all that purple down there, every part of this is covered with all kinds of organic material, like I said. See, even the black part right there? They use different kinds of seaweed and all kinds of stuff. London, watch out! Souvenirs! Get down! Ah, well, will you look at that? It's the mainstream media. Those chumps can't hold a candle to the new media. Look at me out here with my handheld device and my feet walking around. What do they have? Satellite connections and vans and logos and buildings and staff and researchers and editors and lighting guys and camera. Okay, they got a lot of stuff. But I watch TV, see if I care. Ooh, here it is, the final street. Wow, look at this. The whole street is lined with floats. That is incredible. It's almost like we're at the actual parade. And don't get me wrong, now, after I was in marching band in high school, I appreciate a good marching band. The music, the passion, the formation. And of course now I think the horses are really cool. I know who some of the celebrities are. It's just as a kid, those parts of the parade were boring. All I wanted to see was the floats. London won't even look at it. All he wants to look at is his phone and video games. Oh my gosh, would you look at the size of that kitty right there. He's almost as big as our cat, Frankie. Good kitty. Just keep reading your book. Dude, that's amazing because even from up close, that looks like fur. You have to get really ridiculously close before you can clearly see. It's all plants. Even those little things you blow on and then they make the wish, you know? The stuff with the thing and the, oh, dandelions. It's all made out of plants. Even the kitty's rump. Dude, I'd hate to smell that litter box. That's a big cat. Oh, that's why it's so big. It's a lion. I get it now. Ah, hey, look, another Statue of Liberty. This says something about the rodeo here. Oh, wait, I see it. Walk, ride, rodeo. What was the rodeo at New York, in Las Vegas or something? Oh, it's a float for the Cowboy Channel. I literally didn't even know that there was a Cowboy Channel. I'd like to go to a rodeo sometime. You ever been to a rodeo? I've never been to, you've been to a rodeo? How? I've never even seen a rodeo anywhere near where I live. Although, when I was doing Route 66, I did go to the National Cowboy and Western Museum or whatever it was called. And the rodeo room did open up my mind, so I would be willing to check it out. Especially to see those rodeo clowns. Ooh, look at this. Here we have the Kiwanis float, and apparently they've got a giant giraffe feeding a flying turtle to a nest of birds? Well, it's the food chain, you know. It's complicated, but it's part of nature. That right there, the turtle with the wings, just reminds me of Mario.
I thought it was for Toys R Us.
No, I don't think Toys R Us has the money for a float anymore. Whoa, look at the size of this one. What's the sign say? Western asset. Oh, it's quite an asset, all right. One that's depreciating rapidly. I can see some of the flowers are starting to wilt. I mean, this is just so impressive. Not just all the flowers and the color choices, particularly like those petals on that bird right there. It makes it look so real. The textures are so cool. But also, this looks like it'd be the coolest playground ever. Imagine having something like that set up in your backyard when you're a kid, run all over it. Or how about that tree house, huh? Did you ever have a tree house?
No, I wish.
I meant to build you one, we just didn't have a tree. Well, maybe next time you're little. First we gotta work on someday getting into a regular house, and then we'll fix the whole tree house situation. Hey, it's a float for the Shriners Hospital. I give the Shriners Hospitals money every single month. A very worthwhile charity. They help children with all kinds of crazy neurological conditions, burn victims, at absolutely zero cost to the families. Very, very cool. Aw, that giant teddy bear looks perfect, but I gotta tell you, there's something unnerving about whatever they use for the human skin on these things. Just seeing textured skin like that. I have a new phobia now of developing seed skin. Oh, that's crazy. I just noticed even the swing set poles are wrapped with giant leaves. That is awesome. Wow, it's almost closing time and there's still so many people out here. Oh, dude, this one is sick. Look at how awesome that float is. So elaborate. Not only do they have the castle there, but they've got these gargantuan knights too. Look at the size of those jousters. That is incredible. Look at the people behind them. Look how huge they are by contrast. Dude, and if you think the knights are big, you should see the days. Wah, 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 wah. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, the Oddfellows and the Rebeccas, huh? Looks like they got their Oddfellows Hall there, covered with leaves. I've never heard of the Rebeccas, but I'm guessing they're firefighters. That's just a little joke there because of the fire truck. I think what they've actually done here is to turn their float into a thank you to first responders. That reminds me, thank you, first responders. Thank the first responders, London. Thank them or they won't respond.
Thank you.
Whoa, check out this huge float next door. The sign said Sikh American. Like as in this kind of Sikh. Actually had quite a few Sikh kids at my high school. I thought it was a lot until I saw Allie's hometown. A lot of Sikhs up there. And I'm told that they actually have the best floats in the parades up there as well. Remember one time I stayed in that hotel up in your town? They had the parade floats in the parking lot. I was climbing all over them, having my own parade. Someday I'm gonna have my own float and it's gonna be awesome. It probably won't be this awesome. I mean, after all, that is photo-worthy awesome, but still, someday. Well, look at that crazy bird back there. What in the world? I'm having trouble figuring out what the heck this is exactly. It's like a plane without wings, but it's towing something. What's happening? There's birds everywhere playing musical instruments. There's dancing penguins on the engines. Wait a minute. I see the wing. That makes sense. Of course birds would build a flying machine with wings. For wings. Look at these cuckoo birds. Oh, I see. The sign said Dodo Bird Flight School. Well, that's the flight school I'd have to go to. Oh man, now the light is really fading. We gotta hurry up. Ooh, we got a nice giant train here from the city of Alhambra. It's not a full-fledged float yet, though. It's still in training. Ooh, and what is this? A South Pasadena float that I believe celebrates 100 years of women's right to vote, the 19th Amendment, and the victory of the suffragettes. 100 years of victory at last. Dude, that is nuts. I mean, 100 years is a long time to me, but in the grand scheme of things, that is nothing. Crazy to think that 100 and some odd years ago, women couldn't vote. To my brain, that doesn't even make sense. Whoa, dude, look at this one. Ooh, I'm loving all the smells. I think this one is for the Huntington Library and Gardens, and because they have such an impressive garden here, actually very close to Pasadena, if not in Pasadena. Of course you know their float has got to be outstanding. Oh, it smells so good. I could smell all the flowers and the plants, and for some reason, that's making me hungry. Oh man, look at this. We missed it. You know who was standing here, Allie? Do you realize who was standing right there? Alfred. Alfred was standing right there. I missed Alfred. I didn't get to see him. Cactuses made out of flowers, but not cactus flowers. weird. Yes, sir, that was a mighty fine float. Too bad we missed Alfred and all these people here. See, some of the floats focus more on, you know, local officials or celebrities. This one's empty and has no sign. A float for no one. Maybe they'll let me borrow it. I can finally have my own float. Oh, I'm hungry and thirsty. Will you make me a root beer float later? Sure. Then at least I can have a float today, you know. Whoa, check this out. Look at these fish over here. Ooh, and a couple more sneak peeks. Awfully claustrophobic down there in the driver's containers. I think that's a giant anchor over here. You know what I noticed? We've been on the wrong side of all of these floats. People line both sides of the street for the Rose Parade, but I'm guessing the judges and most of the TV cameras are on that side of the float, because I've noticed that most of the heads of most of the characters face that way. Whoa, holy moly. Look at the size of that penguin. Hey, look, the Eiffel Tower, your favorite. And it's a flower tower. That's nice. Oh, look it. There's a crossover right up here. We'll go see that penguin from the other side. Ooh, the city of Burbank had a float out here. And I'm guessing that's the mythical phoenix right there. Because after all, the lettering does say rise up. Wow. Dude, that is kind of awesome. See, I'm not really a huge fan of parades. I like marching bands. I like horses. I like luminaries. And I love looking at all the floats. But I hate lining up behind a barricade or sitting down on the hard ground trying to fold my very unflexible legs. Gather a nice long space around you, you get there early, and then people start to show up and crowd you, and they crowd you, and they push you, and they crowd you. I mean, even at the theme parks, that's why I rarely ever sit down for the parade. They should give everyone like a hula hoop or some kind of square like that, and you put it on the ground, you're like, that's my space! Somebody call Tom because we need my space!
Yeah, it could be like a no-no square.
Yeah, stay out of my no-no square. See what I'm saying? How it looks a little better from this side? Like how the anchor is slightly tilted this way. There's a little bit of a bias there. Ooh, watch out! Souvenirs, quick, quick, quick! There's so much security out here and so many barricades because I guess they don't want people stealing the flowers or sniffing all the sniff out of them. Actually, I wonder what they do with the flowers after the floats are dismantled. Maybe they make Rose Parade potpourri when it's all done. That's another thing that as a kid I totally didn't understand or like. Potpourri, smelly potpourri. Now that I'm a man and I've got my own bathroom, I totally get it. Alright guys, I'd love to keep looking, but the light is fading fast. And when even the kettle corn guys start packing it in, you know it's almost time to go. Pretty awesome though, because I slept in on New Year's Day, but I still managed to see the Rose Parade. And you know what that means. Come on, you know what it means.
It means you've done your duty.
I've done my duty. I can go home and sleep well. They actually do with the flowers after the... Wait a minute, do. Oh, this year's getting off to a great start. I said do. Come on, you know what it means.
It means you've done your duty.
You've done your duty! I messed that up. I was supposed to say, I've done my duty. Okay, we'll do it again. Oh, we're still talking about duty. 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 I'm floating in the parade. I'm afloat. You know what I said earlier? I was talking about the nights, and I was like, if you think the nights, I said, if you think the nights are big, you should see the days. Huh? Funny? Funny? Yes? No?
What does that mean?
You should see the days, get it? Because the nights. Night and day. Oh!
That's not funny.
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess if I have to explain it, it's not good. Okay, so London actually went up to one of the information people and asked what happens to all the flowers. And they said...
They throw them away.
They throw them away? That's it?
Yep.
That's all he said?
Yep.
Oh.
They're too small to give to anyone because they're cut to fit on the floats.
Oh, so they can't put them in water, so they're just going to decay, so they throw them. They should make potpourri! Potpourri! It's a new idea. We'll take all the thrown away flowers and start a potpourri factory, and then we'll be like, garden son, potpourri! Potpourri for your poopery! That would be the bathroom. We're gonna start calling bathrooms poopery. I mean, it's 2020, this is the future. We can call anything, so we'll call it a poopery. I mean, it already is a poopery, but you put potpourri in the poopery, you know. And then we're gonna start calling spatulas whiz sticks. I just think it sounds good, don't you? It's the future, come on! We're gonna get robot parts really soon. Cars are starting to fly. It's 2020, buddy. Cars drive themselves. Whiz sticks are coming around in the kitchen. Pooperies are happening. Okay, but seriously, they throw the flowers away?
Yes.
Come on, really? You're lying.
No.
You're London.
Yes.
Nailed it. I didn't even know that the Kaiser Permanente one was supposed to be the Wizard of Oz. This is the Emerald City. You know, Munchkin Land. I passed right by it. Boy, am I dense. What the heck? I didn't know there was a Chipotle one. All right, they're kicking us out of here. Oh yeah, we didn't get to show you the pirate ship or the submarine, but there's always next year, right? Just kidding, they don't reuse the floats. They don't reuse the floats. Yar, matey. Whew. Out of breath, this hill's steep. We all live in an alley submarine. An alley submarine. An alley submarine. We all live in an alley submarine. A submarine. Go home and sleep well. We would have stayed longer and tried to sneaky film more, but the police said no. Ooh. Time to go.